Hey guys, here we are live again from Ted's Place X and Allies, where we've got our project truck Big Green. And Andre, we've got three things that we're going to do today.
Yep, so we have the ZZ6 Performance 350 cubic inch V8 engine under the hood. Engine swapped here.
Yep, thanks to Chevy.
Thanks to Chevy.
Yeah.
And thanks to Ted for installing it and helping us.
Yep.
And we're here again because we want to install throttle body fuel injection. You've had some issues with the carburetor on separate occasions.
Yeah, so I drove it up to Gateway, Colorado, which is like 300 miles, and I was going over the Eisenhower Tunnel, and man, it just bogged down like crazy going over the Eisenhower Pass. The problem with it is it's got a Holley 4-barrel carburetor, which is great at sea level, but we're at a mile above sea level, so it's sort of kind of okay. But when you go 2 miles above sea level, it just really starts to bog down. Basically what happens is there's not enough oxygen in the air, so it throws in a lot of fuel, and it gets over-fueled and bogs. And you can jet it for like here, but then it'll be ideal here, and it'll be crap at sea level and crap at 2 miles above sea level. So we have a solution, Andre, and that is throttle body injection that our friends at Summit Racing sent us. Let me show it to you. Come on, I'll show it to you. So this is the carburetor, right? That's just a straight up Holley that's in the thing right now. 4-barrel, great carburetor, sounds wonderful, but we have something better, and that is right here. Check this out. It's
Phytec fuel injection system.
Phytec fuel injection system. This is what it looks like. It basically replaces the carburetor. It's a fuel injection system, so it looks just like a carburetor. 4 barrels.
Yes.
But it atomizes the fuel, and more importantly, Andre, what it also does is it senses just how much oxygen is in the air and how much oxygen is coming out of the exhaust, and so it specifically meters and ionizes the fuel so that it's not just dumping it in like a carburetor.
Right, it sprays it in, and it also learns, right? So it can learn the driving patterns and the environment.
Yeah. I mean, fuel injection is pretty sophisticated, so you get this little controller, and it kind of learns on its own. But there's a problem, Andre.
Yes, so you guys opened it up this morning, and we're at Ted's place, and we'll show you, we'll introduce Ted in a minute.
Yeah.
But we don't have the fuel delivery system. It needs a new pump.
It's called a fuel command center, because the problem is, well, come on over here, Ted. You can tell them the problem.
Hey, Ted.
What was the problem with this? What are we missing?
Some sort of high pressure fuel delivery, because calibration uses 3 to 8, something like, whatever
PSI,
whatever the little mechanical pump can deliver.
Yeah.
And so we need a way to step that up to,
and we don't have that.
50s. Yeah.
And I called them, and Ted basically blocked out 2 days for us, so they could get it to us overnight tomorrow, but we don't know what time tomorrow. So that would mean that maybe we couldn't get it done, because this is relatively, it's straightforward, but there's a lot of bits and pieces, right? It's not so...
A lot of sensors you need to install.
This is not something that is like, on a 1 to 10 scale of mechanics. Where would you put it?
I'll let you know when we're done.
All right.
Yeah, no, this is just an example of it's always something. But actually, so far, just reading through the instructions, I think it's going to work out pretty cool. Pretty straightforward, yeah.
All right, well, let me show you another thing we're doing. Come on.
So we have other projects we can work on in the
meantime. We have
meantime.
other projects, and here's one of them right here. And Edith, if you come around in the sun, I'll show you. So the guys at Summit Racing, also summitracing.org, also sent us this, which is the fuel tank that goes on the passenger side. Now this Chevy came with 2 fuel tanks. There's a driver's side and a passenger side. The passenger side fuel tank is rusted out like you wouldn't believe, so we're swapping this out. And what that means is we only had 1 fuel tank, and when I was driving it 300 miles one way, I basically had to stop every 80 miles to get fuel for the truck, and that gets really old really quick.
Yeah, and that's the other thing we're hoping with the EFI, the fuel injection system, will help us it a little bit, be a little bit more efficient.
Yeah,
maybe get a longer range.
We were getting like 9 mpg.
Yeah, maybe we can get 10 or 11.
I hope so.
So we'll see how that works. But I think both of you and I, we really wanted the carburetor to match the character of the truck. But now, after using the truck, also you had problems going up Goldmine Hill, right?
Yeah, at Goldmine Hill, what happened is it would be starved for fuel. Basically, the truck would get on a steep incline, and it would just die. So we're not sure if that was a carburetor issue or if that was a fuel delivery issue, right? Because there was not enough pressure. But we're hoping that the fuel injection starts out. Let me show you what we found when we got the shield off the passenger side fuel tank.
And by we, you mean Ted, right?
I mean Ted. Look what we found. Check this out. Ted said that he found a dinosaur fossil.
So this is actually very heavy. This is like 10 pounds of dirt. And what was happening, this is a plastic shield that's supposed to protect the fuel tank.
Yeah, show them underneath you.
But it's also collecting dirt, and that's why it started to rust. So the rust is really over here. You could see the tremendous amount of rust, and this tank is leaking. So what we're trying to do is actually replace it, and Ted is working on that right now. There's also a switch and a valve that you could, in the cab, you can switch between either the driver and the passenger sides. So we need to make sure that works and test it out. So, and I have a third project I'm working on.
Yeah, so Ted, is this a pretty, 1 to 10, how hard is this project?
And again, I don't know. It seems like it's straightforward.
Okay.
Seems, you know, like the worst was getting this
except for all the dirt.
Western
This
slope
is
off
very
there, yeah.
heavy.
Yes.
This is like 10 or 15 pounds.
Which, I probably mentioned this earlier, you know. The vintage racer guys,
Yes.
they'll pay thousands of dollars to shave that kind of weight off of a car.
There you go. We're helping all the racers right now.
Well, no, but I'm eyeballing this thing and thinking, you know, autocross.
A T-Rex tonsil.
Wow. Dinosaur?
And a Chevy K10. All right, Andre, why don't you show them what you're working on with this? This is what Andre's working on.
So I'm working on replacing the rear bumper. So Roman, last time you purchased this beautiful chrome bumper.
Beautiful, look at that.
For the K10. It's a little oily, and I'll wipe it down.
Yeah.
Why is it oily?
I have no clue.
Anyway, but let me show you in the back. So let me show you over here. We have a kind of a agricultural bumper right now. And see this black thing right here? So it's using 4 bolts and brackets, and we got new brackets from Summit Racing, and there's 2 brackets on each side, so I need to figure out exactly how they mount. Actually, they mount to each other and to the frame, and actually mount the beautiful new bumper.
Now you would think this would be straightforward, but once again, like everything, it's not. Because you, of course, have the license plate light, you've got the brake controller wiring. And one thing we don't have is actually the mount for the license plate. But there's a cool thing you found. Show them that.
Yeah, so over here, if you can actually walk around a little bit, there's a factory license plate that's actually mounted to the bottom rail of the bed. So we have an additional license plate mount on the driver's side.
Is that for when the tailgate's down?
No, but it's kind of hidden.
Why is that? What's that for? If you guys know, let us know, would you? Why is there a hidden driver license plate mount?
And it also has its own light.
Yeah, why is there a hidden license plate mount under the truck? Because like in the old Bronco we had,
the flip up?
Yeah, plate was mounted to the tailgate, and so when you put the tailgate down, there was a flip out, so you could actually see the license plate. But why is it underneath? That's a good question.
It may have been an option or something like that. Yeah, let us know if you have any ideas. But what I'm really doing is I need to disconnect the wiring. Let me show you down here. So the current bumper has these lights, and also the trailer brake. This is a 6-pin connector for the lights for the trailer, and also the brake controller. So I already unscrewed it, but now I have to disconnect the wiring so we can remove the old bumper, and it's really heavy. So Roman, I will need your help to lift out the bumper.
Yeah, I'll help you with that. And guys, this is of course a live video. We're kind of showing you how the sausage is made, but we're also recording this and up over on our TFL Truck channel. We will, of course, put this
produced video.
A produced video, so you don't have to see the sausage being made, but you can see it being finished, and you can see actually how the process is done. But yeah, we've had a pretty big setback with this, because we don't have the fuel pump to actually make this work. So we're kind of bummed about that. But what we're going to do is we only have 2 days to do this, and Ted's blocked out 2 days for us. The problem is we're not going to be able to get it done because I can't get the parts. So we're going to have to come back in like 2 weeks. But at least we'll show them with the fuel tank,
the bumper, and
maybe
some other things.
Maybe a bonus over here.
Yeah, we're trying to straighten out the bed.
Yeah.
Because when we were carrying the old engine out, the 305, after we replaced it, somebody was kind of making some turns and the engine fell over.
Yeah, somebody, we don't know, but they're here.
What a jerk!
What a jerk! Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, so that's the situation, yeah, we're gonna get this old truck up and running. You know, I was expecting us to. Initially, this truck cost $5,000.
Yes.
For, right?
Yes.
The crate engine was
about $9 grand.
$9 grand. You know, then we have to pay for Ted's time.
Yes.
Then we have to pay for Summit Racing is donating these parts, so luckily we don't have to. And
Chevy Performance donated the engine.
Yeah, but if you were actually to do this on your own, you know, you're looking at a project that would be well into, I would say, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 range. That's a lot of money, Andre. I didn't realize
at least 20.
Yeah, and we're kind of begging and borrowing, and you know, using friends to do this.
Yeah.
So we're trying to keep it affordable, but yeah, it's incredible how expensive and how time commitment, what a huge time commitment it is to actually do something like this. And we've just begun to scratch the surface because we still want to do the interior of the truck. It looks pretty crappy.
The suspension is so bouncy.
The suspension is
oh my
horrible.
goodness.
So the lift is really basic.
Yeah.
So you know, this is a long project, but we've got a special goal that we're working on with Chevy in the fall, and I'll tell you guys. I won't tell you
Really?
the whole
I
story.
don't know about this.
Yeah, you know about it, but we were going to keep it a secret, but we'll tell you what we're trying to do. The goal at the end would be to drive this truck up to Alaska and do a video series around
that'd be very cool, but also use a ZR2.
Yeah, use the ZR2
Yeah,
and both
the
of
new
them.
one.
Yeah, new one, and drive this and a ZR2 up to Alaska, up the Alaskan highway.
And that would be insane,
snow,
of course.
In the snow, yeah. So we're trying to make that happen, and it's because of you guys that are watching this. So if you guys want to support us, we're so close to that $1,000 that we're trying to get on Patreon. We're like 960. Go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/TFLcar, and donate as much as you can. We really appreciate it, at least to get to our $1,000 goal, so that we can make and keep producing videos like this. Here's another secret. You know, when we do these videos, a lot of people comment about, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, right? Or commenting about what Ted is doing.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, guys, we're not mechanics. We're not in this business. We're in
Ted is.
Ted is, but we're not. Sort of. We're in the video production business. And so our goal is always to make interesting and fun videos, and that's why we show the sausage being made, because I think it's more interesting to, you know, to show the mistakes that we make as opposed to just kind of being, you know, if you watch like on Discovery, right? There's everything is perfect. They've got gloves on. It happens. It just boom like that, and the truck is perfect. You know, we're showing you the behind the scenes, the kind of the rough corners of it. How's it going, Ted? Let's check in on Ted before we say goodbye. Any questions on there, Ian? You want to check on any questions, Andre?
Yeah, sure.
Anything that we should be answering?
The plate back then used to hang from the truck. I think the bumper was able to come off for off-roading, maybe?
Okay, so there's an extra plate in case you took off your bumper. That kind of makes sense. But I was going to mention another thing about a truck like this, right? This is a 1985 Chevy K10. I mean, it's one of the simpler trucks to work on, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the 350 Chevy V8 is
ubiquitous.
One of the most mass-produced engines of all time. And I think what we're doing here, you know, with friends and just kind of getting the parts together, that's what a regular guy would do, right? They would invite their friends on the weekend and try to work in your garage on the truck.
Yeah,
so,
shade tree mechanic.
Yeah, so this is kind of what makes it fun for us, and I think it's also fun for you guys.
And you know, the reason we have Ted, of course, is not that because, well, the reason you have Ted is because there are things that you run into that we've never done before, and if you're doing it on your own, that would take hours days.
To learn about it.
Right, but we have this very tight production schedule because of the way YouTube works. We have to still keep reviewing trucks, and we still have to go up the Ike gauntlet. By the way, Andre, tell them what you took up the Ike twice. Super Ike. We did 2 Super Ikes.
Yeah, we did Super Ikes last week that we're still editing, actually.
Yeah.
So we're still producing that. We had a 2017 Chevy 2500 work truck with a 6-liter Vortec V8 gas motor. We hooked up a gooseneck trailer,
how much weight?
13,500 pounds, which is basically maxed out. That's what a Super iGauntlet means. We max out the trucks and run them up our iGauntlet world's toughest towing test. 7% grade, over 11,000 feet of elevation, and well, you will see what happens when we publish a video.
Truck channel. But anyway,
and then also a Ram 2500 with a 6.4 liter Hemi. This was a regular cab, long bed, 2-wheel drive truck, base model, tradesman, and we put about 2,400 pounds of water in the bed, and then a trailer about almost 12,000 pounds.
14,000 pounds.
12,000 pounds with
14 combined.
Yeah, about 14.5 combined.
So anyway, we maxed them out, and we have to go edit that and we have to go shoot that. So it's not like, a normal HHU mechanic, if you run into something that you can't do, you kind of go and you figure it out. You go on the internet, you ask your buddies. We have to go. In fact, I have to leave to go hopefully sell the Porsche so that we can keep making videos like this, because, with YouTube, it's kind of like I used to be broadcasting, so you always have to feed the beast. You always have to create new content. So that's really our business, and so that's why we have Ted. But we do want to take this kind of two-way conversation we're having with you guys to explain it. Let's see what Ted's up to.
Yeah,
let's show him before we sign off.
Any more comments or questions?
Yeah, somebody said the bracket is for a flatbed version of the truck.
For a flatbed? Well, it's actually mounted to this 8-foot bed that we have now.
Right, but it's flatbed, it's underneath. So if you have a flatbed, he's saying...
You could also use that, right?
How's it going, Ted? Why don't you go down there and show him?
You know what's really cool about this?
Yeah, you got your head
compared to, not only can I get under this without a lift, I can sit upright.
That's right. You got to call it. You're pretty
there.
I
I almost feel guilty. And as far as how it's going, my default setting is to be a smart ass and bitter, but actually it's going kind of normal. It's going well.
But you have an exhaust pipe in your face.
Well, I got to sniff something. Yeah, no, it's going good. I'm wrestling the hoses off, and I still have one eye, so it's going well.
Okay, well, when you're done in no eyes,
But Ted, we want to thank you for your help, because another issue we have with our truck is the speedometer and odometer are off.
Yeah,
because we have the 35-inch tires. And, I had a question this morning for Ted. I said, it's a cable-driven speedometer.
This has got to be the worst interview ever.
I could get out
Ted's
from
face is
under
half up the skirt of the truck. This is not good, Andre. This is no good.
Well, you talked about the sausage being made.
Yeah, this is the sausage literally being made. So go ahead. I'm going to go dump this dirt while you talk about the... talk about the issue.
Are you okay? You feel bent over?
Hey, Ted, this is literally 20 pounds.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of
20
dirt.
pounds, yeah.
No, I
Watch
think
out for the bumper.
Is there any space I should be dumping in?
you realize that Carbondale might want that back. No, we have dirt everywhere, so if this mixes with our other dirt, that's kind of okay.
I'll save you the T-Rex tonsil.
I would.
And the reason why we come to you, Ted, because you're a wealth of knowledge about, not just because of classic cars, but in general. And we have
of knowledge.
Automotive knowledge. And we have a cable-driven speedometer, right? So the speedometer is actually attached to a transmission case, and the speed of it. But we have 35-inch aftermarket tires here.
Yeah.
So the speedometer is off, and I use my GPS app on my iPhone. I was trying to be high-tech.
Yeah.
And we're about 8 mph. So when the truck is showing 45 miles per hour, my GPS was showing about 52 to 53. So it's a big chunk.
Yeah.
So the speedometer is really off.
Dude, so you mean when I was driving back on the highway, I was doing 90?
Yeah. And you're getting even worse mileage than you thought.
That's why I was getting 7 mpg. Hey, check this out, boys. Look at this. When this truck was silver originally. When they spray painted the truck, they also oversprayed and got the.
That's beautiful.
Is that crazy?
This is such a period correct color that I actually thought it was the original paint. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of the color you'd expect on it for 1985.
Yeah, we can show them the color, right? You can see it. Here, there you go. That's the original color.
That's boring.
That's boring. I like green. Whoever did this job, you are much applause for you.
Big silver wouldn't sound right either.
But Ted, you were explaining to me how to correct that, right? The speedometer odometer problem.
Yeah, so because when I say old school, stuff I know, the speedometer, the speedometer, the actual speed register is just a needle that's on a disc with a spinning magnet behind it, and that can vary. You can change that with magnetism. It can be off anyway, but if you're going to correct it, don't care about the speed. Go for the odometer. Make your odometer correct, because that's a direct relationship of gears to gears. So drive over a measured distance, see what your odometer discrepancy is, and there are companies that will make little step up or step down gearboxes that they can put right in midstream of your speedometer cable, so to speak, but make the odometer correct. And usually if the speedometer itself is in good condition, your speed will then read appropriately good. If it doesn't, fix that as a separate issue. Take it to a speedometer shop and have them calibrate just the speedometer. But when it's transmission changes or tire changes and discrepancies, make the odometer accurate and then worry about the speed later. Besides, the speed is just an estimate anyway. You know.
So this would take me hours to Google, I think. What you just said.
I don't know.
So that's why we love being here and kind of working with you. So
All right, guys. Well, thanks again for watching. Remember, we're going to be having more videos, Andre's Super Bike videos, and hopefully, if all goes well today, we'll at least have a new bumper and a new fuel tank. But we'll never know. You'll have to go to TFL Truck to find out. See you next time. As always, this is Roman,
Ted.
and Andre.
Ciao.